Welcome to my class. This is science class for 8th standard. Now today we will share chapter number 1, crop production and management. In this chapter we will learn and discuss about the production and management of crop in our country. India is basically an agricultural country. Here farmers yield large number of crops to feed the whole population of India. Now first we will see what is the meaning of crop. Crop is a similar kind of plantlets grown in a particular land or field and took care by the farmers for their greater yield or production. The first word is our crop. It means similar kind of plants or plantlets. To grow crops, we have to follow some processes. Those are known as agricultural processes. Now we will see what are the different types of agricultural processes. When we are talking about crops, as you know, India has different kinds of climatic conditions. Some areas having more of humidity, some has less number of rainfall, and some having temperature problems. For that problem, to solve that problem, we are having two types of crop production in India, that is Kharif and Rabi crops. These crops are basically based on season. Kharif crops are grown mostly in rainy season, that is from June to September. Here we include paddy, sunflower, soybean, etc. Whereas Rabi crops are grown in winter season, that is from October to March. And these are wheat, mustard, etc. With this, in summer season, we can grow seasonal vegetables and fruits also. Now, what are the practices involved in the production of crops? First is preparation of Now we will see what are the basic preparation for crop production. First is preparation of soil. This is also known as tilling or plowing. It means to prepare the soil for sowing of seed or growing of a particular crop. Here first we will see why we need this preparation of soil. As the surface of soil is hard, to loosen it, we do the plowing or tilling of soil. This tilling helps the soil to get loosened and get proper aeration. Aeration means to get the proper passage of, to get a better passage of air. This air helps the plants or seeds to get proper air, humidity and sunlight. The loosened soil makes a seed to get its basic needs, that is proper sunlight, humidity or water, and air. That's why we do the plowing or tilling of the soil. One more important thing is that in soil there is some good bacteria or earthworms are there who make the soil fertile. They recycle the layer of upper soil to make the passage for sunlight, water and so now we know that some organisms like earthworm and some bacteria help to recycle the nutrient of soil and make a passage for air, water and sunlight for further growth of a plant from a seed. As you know, the surface of soil is made of dead and decaying plants and animals. These are known as organic matter and they make a fertile surface layer of a soil that is known as humus. That is known as humus. Humus also make the soil very fertile. For this, we do the plowing and tilling of the soil. For this, we also need some particular instruments or implements. That is, first one is known as plow. The plow is a device or implement which is made up of a plow shaft and a plow share. The plow share loosens the soil and breaks it into some small particles and make it like a powdery texture and give it a powdery texture. The plow is fixed with a T-shaped base to a bullock or a bull to do the tilling or plowing of a field. Nowadays, we use modern cultivators like tractors for the plowing or tilling of the soil. Next is sowing of seed. Now the preparation of soil is done. We have seen the texture and loosen the soil. We have seen the humus presence and also the earthworm and other bacteria's presence in the soil. Now the soil is ready for sowing of seeds. As you know, a better seed can give a better production in the crop field. To testify or to judge the valuability or viability of a seed, we can do a small activity or test. Take a bowl, fill it with the water and put some seeds what you want to sow in your field and rest it for few hours or for some time. You will see some seeds are settled below the bowl and some were floating above the surface of the water. What does this indicate? This indicates that the dead seeds are hollow, that's why they are floating on the surface of water, whereas the other good seeds are settled down under the water. In this way, we can testify the valuability or viability of a seed. Now the seeds are ready to sow in the crop field. For this, we can use, for sowing of seeds, we can use traditional tools, that is a funnel shaped implement. That in that funnel we can pour the seeds and it will go in the depth of the soil. Second is the seed drill. This is the most important and modern technique to sow the seeds. In this, the seeds are sown in a field in equidistance and equi depth. It is required. It is necessary the seed should be sown in equidistance and equidepth because each plantlet should get proper sunlight, water and air for their proper growth. If overcrowding or overlapping of seed is there, then there will be death or proper growth of a seed. We should grow it in equal distance and equal depth because appropriate distance between the seed is necessary to avoid overcrowding of plant. This allows plants to get proper sunlight, air and water. At times a few plants may have to be removed to prevent the overcrowding of plantlets. After sowing, preparation of soil, we sow the seeds. Now we also have to take care about the nutrients, or we have to check on nutrition and fertility of the soil. To overcome this, we have to add manures and fertilizers to the soil. It enhances the nutrient power of the soil and makes a crop healthy and product. It makes the soil more fertile and make the plantlets or crop healthy and more. So we see the manures and fertilizers are added to soil to make it healthy and give more yield or productions. Manures are the organic substance which are made up of organic matter like cow dung and waste, vegetable waste and other things. These are very nutritive and gives all the required nutrients to the growth crops in the field. Whereas fertilizers are the man-made or artificial replacement of manure. This also do the same job to make the soil healthy and fertile. Now the irrigation. The next step is irrigation. Irrigation means to supply water to the crop. Supply or to provide water to the required crop in a crop field. Now, each and every step has its own effect on the yield of the crop. Now, we will see the steps required in irrigation. Irrigation, I earlier said that supplying or to provide water to the required crop in a required field. When the crop plantlet is in his growth period, it required water to enhance its growth, and it also ensure its health, that it is healthy or not. So we see irrigation in earlier times. There are many ways. Some were traditional ways, and now we are using also some modern ways. In traditional ways, there was types like moat, chain pump, dekli and rahat. In traditional system of irrigation, we see rahat, dekli, moat and other sources. Nowadays, two main types of irrigation types are done, that is drop irrigation and sprinkle irrigation. Because nowadays water conservation is one of the basic requirements in our country, so there should be no wastage of water also in doing irrigation. So we prefer nowadays drop irrigation and sprinkle irrigation. Drop irrigation. And there are mostly we use two type of irrigation. One is drip irrigation and another was sprinkle irrigation. Drip, as the name shows, drip means drop by drop. So here the channels are made it like that drop of water should be fall on the roots of the plantlets and it get the required and sufficient water for its growth. Where the sprinkle water is like fountain, where the water is sprinkled in a large field with the help of fountains, so that each and every plantlet should get the water as they require. Now after that we come to the next point, that is protection from weeds. Now the plantlets are grown and showing their physical health. In between, some unwanted plants are also grown, which obstruct the growth of the plants or the main crops. To avoid this, for this we remove these unwanted plants that are called weeds from the required plantlets or the main crop, and this is known as weedicide. Removal of weeds. For this we also use some chemicals. For this we use some chemicals that is known as 2,4-D. It kills the particular weed and remove it from the main crop and saves the main crop. Sometimes we also see some insects or worms having a diet on this plantlets or main crop. To avoid this, we use DDT as a pesticide to kill all these pests. So unwanted insects in a crop is called a pest. To kill these insects, we use DDT as pesticides and 2,4-D we use as a weedicide, that is removal of a weed from the main crop land. As you know, these weedicides and pesticides are also affect the health of the farmers. These are chemical poisons which are not healthy for those who feed or those who use them to save their crops. They should, by using these chemicals or pesticides, they should cover their face area, their nose and mouth area, so that they cannot inhale or taste the texture or taste of these chemicals. It may be fatal for their health. Now we will see the next step, that is harvesting. It is the most important part of agricultural practices. Here, when the crop is ready, When this crop is ready to take out from the main cropland, it takes almost 4 months for a crop to be ready for harvesting. Now, what are the major implements we use to do the harvesting? Traditional ways are there. First, they could cut down the crop in the male field with the help of sickle. Or nowadays they use the harvester to cut down the main crop.
Stop.
So cutting down of main crop from a field is known as harvesting, and this harvesting is now done with a harvester or by hand method using a simple tool called sickle. Now, when harvesting is done, after that threshing and winnowing processes are followed. What is threshing? Threshing is the process where the main grain is taken out from the chaff of the plantlet of that particular crop. And winnowing is also cleaning off of the chaff from the main grain with the help of air. These are the two related processes with harvesting, that is threshing and winnowing. After that, we celebrate any festival related to the harvesting of the main crop. One of them is Baisakhi, which falls on 14th of April every year. Now the last step after harvesting, we do the storage. As I have said earlier that we Indians have a great population. To feed all the mouth of this population, we require to store the crop in a very delicate way so that each and every stomach should be filled in a proper and a healthy way. For this, we require many storage areas, and also to store the grains we should have to follow some precautions to avoid wastage of the food grains. If freshly harvested grains are not dried properly, they will spoil or decay fast, or if it is not properly stored, then the rottens or rats and other insects will feed upon them, and it will be a sheer wastage of our hard work. So, to avoid all these situations and circumstances, we have to dry the required crop in a proper sunlight and store it in silos or granaries. Sometimes we say it godowns. In these godowns or in granaries in silos, the grains are stored in a large scale. Here we have to see that it should be protected from heavy sunlight and then other pests, rodents and water or rain, so that it can be saved from wastage of the food. Now we know in crop production and management we apply many processes to save the crop and reach the food to each and every people on this earth. Not only the plants give us food. Also, the animals have their role in our daily life to provide food. For rearing and bearing the animals for food, that practice is known as animal husbandry. Husbandry. It means rearing the animals for food. You know it clearly how we get food from animals. They are in form of egg, meat and milk. So side by side, the crop production not only deals with plants, it also deals with animals in support to give food to all the mouths of the people on this earth. I hope you can have clear views and production and management. Thanks.